Hello lovelies, welcome! I will be flipping through my next finished journal with you today, number 13. This time I have chosen to create a colorful cover with handmade scraps instead of white. Unusual for me, but true. And I think it fits quite well. And we are flipping through it. Each journal has its own character, as you know. And the memories of the time when the spreads were created, I love this so much. Always such joy. The next journal is already here and so thick, there are still 11 pages to finish. And yes, I will have you with me when I do this. I think I'm going to have to put some tape on this beast to fix this wonky binding. This was a sketchbook, only half as thick as now. I thought I had ripped pages out in the beginning before I started, but it's so thick. Yes, these journals are so bulging, even so I don't use that much texture. And otherwise, ta-da! Look here! I have finished these two paintings I started some time ago with encaustic and with quite a few layers. Encaustic just got me right now. I love it so much, especially since I now have a separate workspace for it. Otherwise, I arrange some of my collage and try to redesign it. Collage for me is like a living being. It changes all the time and morphs into something new. Sometimes here, sometimes there comes new bits and bobs. Sometimes in new boxes, and so I also keep trying to put my collage extra for every project until it is done, but that always doesn't work out in the end because I have so many projects at the start which I start and never finished or finished later. Yes, these crazy artists. What are your experiences? How do you do it? I would like to hear your ideas. So come a little closer, grab your beverage and have fun. So this box I had here, it has piled up over the last half of a year, and it started out with tiny little scraps that I don't want to throw away, and I thought they maybe fit to another project, another journal spread. They are too cute to throw them away. So, and now look at this, there are also these big ones it had piled up, and now I thought, okay, let's put them in a new order. On the left side I put the big ones, and then on the right side in the first box I got the other ones that are tiny, and as you see they are so different from so many things. I have self-made papers from papers that lay beside me when my brushes, I want to brush them out before I put them in the water. And yes, from magazines or little bits from hangers from clothes that I had bought, or here a very old painting. And I also love to use these gift wraps. They are wonderfully, so here you can see one with flowers or wonderful pattern or big patterns. With scrapbooks you have these tiny patterns, and gift wraps are wonderful for the big ones. As you see here, another one with the flowers, with the roses. Yes, and in the next box there are the transparent papers like tea bags or coffee filters or some silk paper, tissues, and so on. And in the last box on the right side there's ephemera, all sorts of ephemera. these worn out, very very stained ephemera, the very old books. They are so brittle and I love it so much. And with these four choices I have more control, and we'll see. In the end they will land in one box again. But for now I have a little bit more overview and more fun by choosing in and see all the stuff I have. It's a nice thing to do. And often by doing this I get ideas for new things to do. They give me so much ideas and I want to start gluing immediately. I love collage. I don't know why is this. I think it's the variety and all the possibilities it brings to a piece, and yes, I love it so much. So now I put these into order from tiny to tall, so that I can flip through very easy, and I put a clamp on the side, and the same with these silk papers, and I stack them onto one another. Here I have some old photographs from the flea market. I should have do something with that. I will see. They give me new ideas. And here's another one of these intuitive abstract paintings in which I search for an animal, a spirit animal or something, and then I carve it out. I bring it to life with these Neocolor tools. I love them so much because you can create such transparent layers as much as you can make some marks that are very bold and rich. I have them on my table, and for art journaling they are really wonderful. I really can recommend them. You can layer them, you can use them like watercolors. They also are fantastic when you are on the road. You grab some of them and then you have all you need. Isn't she sweet? With her flowers in her hair. Not in her hair, but on her ears, and yes. And another spread I've done with a good friend of mine. We sat there in the sun and in nature, and we made a quick and easy spread. We use liquid colors and then create some layers, and then the fantasy find these flowers. And because I had these amazing stickers, they come to my mind that I could put them in the middle of the flowers. First I thought I make the middle a little bit darker, but hey, these stickers, they are beautiful. They look like they have waited to be here in the middle of these beauties. You can use them in the background, of course, but here they are. beautiful. And yes, my favorite fruits right now are strawberries and cherries. Oh my god, I could eat them all day. And they are so healthy, really. Yes, and they always remind me at my childhood when my mom and me we are um, picking them from the trees and eat as much as we could. And this was, yes, so amazing. And like these days, I love them so much. And now look at this. Aren't they beautiful? They are. And again, the warm smell of beeswax floats my studio. And this time I have a spirit animal on which I work. It's the Arias, and it's the protector and the owner of power, and it's really an animal that you can choose when you need some strength and a reminder that you are powerful. And I also painted the moon behind him because it's a more feminine influence, and I love the moon and the stars and all the things that go with it. And all this texture is so freaking yummy. I wish you could touch it and you could see it in real. And yes, here's the whole piece. And of course, I have done another one. The raven or the crow also is such an interesting spirit animal. I will tell you something about it. Among the Celts, the goddess of death, Morrigan, is said to have taken the souls of fallen soldiers to Valhalla, the hall of glory and honor in the other worlds, in the form of a raven. The raven is considered the guardian of wisdom and ancient secrets. He is a shapeshifter and messenger of the gods. It flies unmolested back and forth between the two worlds. The Celtic goddess Morgan Le Fay also had a raven as a companion. For the Native American culture, the raven is a valuable companion and helper during their ceremonies and rituals. In the Bible, it is Noah who sends a raven out of the ark to find out if the flood has ended. He's a bringer of light and heals the souls of people and nature. If the raven is with you as a power animal, he opens his secrets to you which you can implement for your life and work. He's a messenger of the magic of the universe. Depending on the interpretation and theme, the spirit animal raven would like to point you to pay more attention to your spirituality and life. It can also be that something comes to an end and a new beginning is just around the corner. So now let's have a look into my finished journal. And as you see here, my wonderful collage bits, I've arranged them so that they fit to my like. And here's the first spread. It's a little weird, a little lion, such as he is. I have not paid much attention to details and I love him so much. This girl, he's so sweet and dreamy, and she lives in a kind of underworld. She's very safe and warm, and she had some magical stuff around her. Here it's a kind of mood board or an inspiring board. I love her in her room with the window, with the view and her powerful animals around her. It's only collage, rearranged, and so much fun to do. This one is so textured, and as you can see here we have fabric put into her shirt, and the bubbles, they look like planets, don't they? And here I had created a fun collage. I had her originally painted in pastels and then print out and use in my journals. I love the contrast of these, and I put the bird beside her, and because it had nothing to sit on, I put some just by collaging them on. This spread I finished a few days ago, and I have to say it makes me smile every time I flip through it. I love the horse that's running out of the spread. Yeah. This is not my favorite one, I should say. Oh no. But it always makes me green. This is transfer, which I put on this side, and on the others I painted her loosely so that they now are twins. I love this texture so much that I couldn't get something on it. Texture, really so much texture, and abstracting out of the background these flowers and her sweet face and hair. It really is so freeing to paint like this. And another thing that came out of the background, I have cleaned some brushes on the spread, and then boom, a new spread done so quickly. A more personal spread with a photograph, and I let most of the background as it is. I only carved out the angel. And this one is a Matisse inspired spread. You can see it on the colors and the little kitty, of course, and her wonderful outfit. And yes, where is she looking at? In most of my spreads you can see that the background is so important for me that here in her shirt you can look through her, so to speak. And the sweet moth has landed on her head. This is one of my favorite spreads. Normally I don't like green, but here, when I bulked up all the green collage bits, so quick there comes the story in her dress, and then of course the bird has landed on her hand. I love it. Another one I've seen in the background, this figure, and then the houses, and then comes the birds. Birds are a big thing in my art, as you maybe have seen and known. So, and the last two spreads are some houses in a magical Moroccan night. I played with pastels, collage, and other supplies, and I really had fun. I had a reference from Anita Ree, and yes, I hope you had fun flipping through with me, and hope you start journaling right away. And because this one is finished, I grab another journal that I now want to start to finish, and I have 11 pages left that I want to work on, and this is the first one. So let's see what we can do. Because I love the texture on this, I will try to work with some transparent colors. I use some ink and some aquarelle color, watercolor, and Here are some Neocolors that you can use like watercolors too. As I said, they are my favorite ones for art journaling, really. And my favorite, this is an acrylic ink. It's my favorite acrylic ink. It's a transparent one. And I use it so often in my work. Here I put some water into it to water it down. And first I wanted to put them on some spots, but because it's my favorite, I painted over the whole foreground. As you can see, I put it on very thick, and yes, why not? Let's go pink. I think it fits very well in the end, as you will see. And I use a tiny little brush because you can do some details with it. So now it's time to put my favorite yellow on top of this. I love this yellow because you can mix it with some darker colors to tone it down. But if you want to, if you need a strong yellow, you can put it on just like I do here. And it sparks really every painting. I love this. It's so sunny and bright, and I know it's an it's an investment for sure. It's not the cheapest color, but if you start out with a tiny tube, it's fantastic. So because we have so much place here, I thought, why not put a quote on it? And this fits so well. Live life in full bloom. Yes, for sure we will do. And here's my golden pen. I should say I really love it. Look how beautiful it looks over the black. Wonderful for doodling. Some sparks in her eyes and some shadows, some golden shadows. So I hope you enjoyed finishing this spread with me, and I could inspire you to go and grab your supplies and create your own. And if you want, go to my shop to find the spirit animals that I have created. And since then, have fun, stay creative, and we'll see you in the next studio visit. Bye for now.